Hello, my name is Philip. I'm a filmmaker, and today I'm going to be reviewing Arcane League of Legends, a Netflix series which just launched. We just watched it live on Twitch together with my chat, and it was actually a really good time. I just want to get my general thoughts on this. Last time I reviewed an Arcane trailer, I got like copyright annihilated by YouTube. So I'm not going to show any media this time. I apologize, but they do not like Netflix stuff on Netflix doesn't like their stuff on YouTube. But I want to get my thoughts out because I think they did a lot very well in this. So let me know if you agree with me down in the comments. A lot of you guys have enjoyed my League of Legends cinematic analysis for the KDA videos and other like trailers and music videos that Riot has done. And I had a really good time with those as well. And I know some of you guys have been asking like, oh, can you do Arcane? Can you do Arcane? So unfortunately, I can't really show much because of copyright, but I would love to talk about it. So let me know if this is something you want to see more of. And if you guys have been enjoying my League of Legends content, my Genshin Impact, my Final Fantasy breakdowns, please make sure to subscribe. We're going on 20,000 subscribers here on my second YouTube channel, and it's really exciting. So if you want to see more League stuff, leave a like on this video and check out my main channel. If you want to see my film, let's get into it. Let me know if you agree with what I'm saying in the comments. I think the general consensus with League of Legends people is probably good on this, but I don't actually know because I don't play League. I've only seen the few trailers that I do, but I will say they did like fantastic work on this. So let me know if that's the consensus of the League community. I have no idea, but let's get into it. I thought it was really, really well done. There's a couple things that stood out to me. Number one would be the animation style is really amazing in this show. It has a certain look to it that kind of looks organic, even though it has this obviously CG aspect to it. When we look at stuff like the Berserk 2016 war crimes that occurred with that animation, and then we see this, it's like, first of all, they're using mocap for this, and it looks human in their movements, but it still has this like very sketch, very painterly look to it. I said this when we talked about the trailer too, if it didn't get cut from the copyright. It has this very painterly look, this very naturalistic look to it. And I think that is a massive, massive victory for the show. From what I could deem from it, it looks like, from what I could glean from it, it looks like, Riot got their chance here to be like, we got a Netflix show, like we're going all out, because this is something that had the budget. It's a series, which I think is like 9 episodes or something like that. And it looks as good as some animated movies. So it's just like very, very well done. Again, in this kind of sketchy, painterly, everything has a nice like lived in texture to it. We were talking about even like the textures on the doors and stuff as they're opening them. It looks like somebody like had like a brush stroke on it as they were painting it. And that's a really cool effect. Another standout I would say is the writing. The writing was really good, and there's a lot of believability in the motivations of the characters in this. One of the things that I liked was when Vi was at the end of the episode, something happened. There's going to be minor spoilers, by the way. Near the end of the episode, it was said that they did this haul where they went on a thieving job, and then their father figure said like, it's good that you lost the stuff because that's, you don't want any connection to this, so then they can hunt you down. Right, so that made sense from a character perspective, and Vi was like, dang, he's right. But then later in the episode, we had Powder, the blue-haired sort of like maybe protagonist, say that, oh, I actually saved some of the loot, some of the treasure here. And then Vi, of course, we're kicking and screaming as the audience, going like, oh, you gotta tell him, that stuff's really dangerous. But of course, it was good writing. She wouldn't tell him because he said, you better not have any loot. So that was just a great example of some of the writing. Motivations made sense. I thought the soundtrack was really good. There was a lot of just very appropriate music throughout, but it wasn't afraid, and kind of like modern Hollywood. A lot of movies are very afraid to like put in melodies and put in like big orchestral sound. There's some great string sections, like the chase scene up in the city. That whole section was very vibrant. It reminded me of kind of FF9 opening, Final Fantasy 9, if you guys know it. The group of thieves doing their first job, their big job in the city, which goes wrong and stuff. It was really cool. And again, just like, we have to look at this as, can someone who has no idea what League of Legends is watch this and enjoy this as a story? And that was my main fear going into this, I would say, is like, oh, I wonder if they're going to actually do that, or if it's just going to be like a, League of Legends fan kind of like fan servicey type thing. But it wasn't that at all. It wasn't that at all. I'm sure there were tons of Easter eggs. I had some people in my chat being like, "Oh, that's so cool. That's such and such character and everything." But from my perspective, with the very little I know, I did recognize, Jinx and Vi and a couple people that I've seen in my cinematic breakdowns of the trailers. But besides that, I mean, it was just a great character introduction to a lot of different people in a very believable world with real motivations, a very well designed world. That's another thing I wanted to say. Like inside the study of this kind of astrology place that they broke into, just a lot of knickknacks, a lot of cool like machinery, a lot of stuff like that. Just very well done. And it's not something, again, that you think would be this level of detail, this level of budget and design in a series. But you got to look at it from the perspective of this is Riot's like big chance. Seems like they've been wanting to break into the kind of movie series space, and it seems like this is their big chance to finally do that. So you gotta love it, right? And I'm excited to see where it goes. There are 3 episodes out now. We watched the first one live on Twitch. That's what they just broadcast for us to be a part of, but it was really fantastic. Yeah, I mentioned the design briefly, but really good design. Another aspect that stood out was the lighting. My one fear with this, or one of my fears with this, was from reviewing the trailer that they were going to be a little too drained on this, a little too drab. And if you look at the trailer, this particular scene is in like a very dark lit place. It looks a little bit colorless, a little bit lifeless. But I can confirm now, because this was in like different locations, they have brought like a lot of vibrancy to different scenes and different sets and locations. There were some great pieces that were like very colorful, even if it was dark, in like the kind of bar area outside in the underground section part of town. It was really well done. There was just great colors. Another thing that stood out to me that was really good is you got to be careful when you do this sort of story, not to make it too black and white, right? Like in the beginning, we had these almost like mechanically, like almost like comically like evil, officers who were chasing after them. They're wearing like gas masks and they sound like Darth Vader and stuff. I was like, geez, like pure evil. So one of the things I love, and one of my favorite characters in this piece, in this first episode, was there's this female officer. I didn't catch her name. I think it was said like very briefly once. She was the female officer who was trying to convince their father figure. It's like, you gotta turn whoever it was in, because we both know I'm going to have to come back with like an army of soldiers and arrest a bunch of people, and we know how that's going to turn out. What I like about that was it was a very believable example of like, you can't just have everybody, being pure evil. So like, it's cool that they made not only a likable character, but like just a human being, right? Because even the guy that was with her is like, we're gonna kill all you scumbags. It's like every single person on Earth realistically is not just gonna be like an absolute jerk, So that was, I thought, one of the strengths of the episode was it didn't go too far into that territory, right, of just like good versus evil. So I thought that was cool. And the fight scene, there was one like kind of fisticuffs fight scene, hand-to-hand fight in this alleyway. That was pretty darn well done. They're taking advantage of what they can do using CG. Like there are a lot of like slow-mo shots, just like bashing somebody's face in and stuff. I mean, awesome. Take advantage of what you can do with fight choreography when it's not real humans. I thought that was very well done. And some of it was a little too jumpy for my personal taste, but it was generally very well done, and it conveyed what was happening. It wasn't so, kind of like Hunger Games level of just absolute trash, right, where you can't see what's going on. So it was quite good from that perspective. But besides that, I think that's most of the thoughts that were just kind of coming off the top of my head. I really like the characters too. I think it's a very compelling story for new viewers too. Like I was trying to picture if I didn't even know what League of Legends was, if I just turned this on out of curiosity. And honestly, I think I would probably watch the next episode. The ending was quite morbid. I don't know these characters who are like kind of the mad scientists, so I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go, but I am looking forward to see what happens there. And to see what happens with these guys. It seems like they're experimenting with some crazy stuff. Also, there's a lot of good cliffhangers in this, that being like a very extreme one. But I would say the better cliffhanger is like they've set up from a writing perspective, oh no, like what's going to happen with this, bomb? She's carrying these like destructive, world-destroying bombs in her and she's a child. Like, oh, these are cool, right? Look at these cool things I found. And we know that this particular child loves to like tinker with stuff and build little toys that like help her out and everything. She's like, this one's named Jimmy or whatever. So it's very worrisome. It's like, dude, what is she gonna do? I think if I was to predict, I would guess maybe they're setting up that she's gonna make one of her toys with one of those bombs in it or something. I don't know, and cause even more destruction. But I'm really excited. It seems like they're kind of setting up the two sisters against each other. But I liked it too. Like, it was very realistic, kind of young adolescent behavior, and like even younger with the Powder character, to the point where you'd be super super down. You want to impress your older siblings, so you do like crazy reckless stuff, trying to be a grown up, and then even the older siblings are trying to act like adults when they're not and stuff. It was very well done, and we can see kind of where things might be going a little bit, playing those two sisters off each other. I think it's quite good. I think my favorite character is their father figure. I can't remember his name. It was said a couple times. Really interesting character. And I think the standout as far as the performances go, which were all quite good, I think all the performances were very good, was actually him. If anybody knows, just let me know his name in the comments. He was really good. I have to look up who the actor was. Just very believable delivery. I think sometimes with performances and voice acting, you can get like a little too focused on trying to sound cool or smooth, and you lose a little bit of that believability in the performance. And like, he sounded like, he always kind of keeps that framing of like a cool guy who like is in control and is like cool and smooth. But you could tell when it came to his children, that he, like, a little bit of that concern slipped out, a little bit of anger slipped out. Whereas when he was in the bar dealing with the people who were trying to like, trick the guy and like, oh, maybe we won't pay you. He was very smooth, right? Didn't even crack an inch. So I thought that was a really cool detail as well. Very well done all around. And then my chat was telling me there's some other characters, I think Echo was his name, who appeared. So it's like, oh, I bet this is going to be a origin story for multiple characters, not just for the Vi and Powder. So that was really cool. And then, of course, her name is Jinx in League of Legends, and we had this really cool, like, oh, she always jinxes everything. I thought that was cool. And I don't know if that was a known thing, or if this, again, if you've been playing this game for 10 years, like if that's a revelation. So I think it's really cool. But those are my general thoughts. Let me know if you agree with what I was saying in the comments. Beyond that, I think I want to watch a little bit more before I do a deeper analysis if I choose to. Let me know if this is something you guys are interested in. I don't know. There's no media because I got copyright annihilated last time. Again, apologize. But you guys are the best. Thanks for watching. Make sure to sub if you're new, and follow over on Twitch if you want to do stuff like that and chat live. I thought it was really fun. And if they ever do something like this again, I would probably do it. So you guys are the best. Have a good night. Also, for my Genshin fans, we're going to be playing more of that. Don't worry. And more Final Fantasy. So you guys have a good time. Goodbye.